Hello everyone, my name is Dan Bjerknes. I'm the president at CHI St. Alexius Health. I want to welcome you to our Centennial celebration. It's a bit different this year, like a lot of things. The year 2020 will be remembered for changes, and we were not immune to those changes. This year's celebration, not only of our Centennial, but our charity ball, had to be done in a different way, much like the changes we had to make in providing the care to this community. This year we rolled out virtual visits, we set up a respiratory care clinic, we had to manage and make do with changes to supplies and how we've delivered care in the past. But one thing remained the same. Through all of this, we provided needed care to this community. We had to figure out a different way of doing it, as many of you did. If you own local businesses, some of you had to learn how to teach your children virtually or homeschool, and that was hard. These challenges were not easy for us, but with our great team of employees, our providers, and we figured it out. That is one thing that we've been very proud of since the very beginning. For 100 years, this hospital has been providing care to the Williston community and the surrounding areas. It wasn't easy, and often there were many challenges that this hospital had to face, but we persevered, and yet we are here today. Our goal is to be here for another 100 years, and it will look different. The way we provide care today is different than it was even 10 years ago. But as we've continued to adapt and meet the needs of the community, we've had to figure out unique ways of doing things to meet the unique challenges and needs of our people. Sometimes that means bringing on a new service line, new equipment, new technology. Sometimes it is expanding hours or offering appointments the same day versus waiting like someone maybe had to do traditionally. Sometimes it means new services that are needed based on the needs of the community. Whatever it might be, we've always been here and we've adapted to the challenges and changes that were necessary. We, our team, are happy to serve this community. We are happy to be a part of this community, and we're so thankful for the support of this community. COVID is going to be one moment in time. Our response to this, while will probably remain in our collective memory for some time, is one part of our long storied history. But the support that we received during this time will be remembered for a very, very long time. The support that we received from individuals, from businesses, from our community at large has been amazing. And we need that support now more than ever. Our business, which is healthcare, was impacted by COVID-19 as well. With volumes down, with us shutting down elective surgeries, the way that we are able to usher forth a new normal is through great donations from each of you. We take those monies, and that money goes to our Patient Care Equipment Fund, which helps us continue to advance our care by new technology, pieces of necessary equipment, or upgrading old equipment. We're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it together. It may look different, we may do it in a different way, but the thing is we have a collective mission, and that mission is to serve the people of this community. We are focused on that mission, we appreciate your support, and we thank you for everything you've done from the very, very beginning to now and into the future. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your evening.
Thank you for joining us for our virtual Centennial celebration. My name is Jana Lutz. I'm the Foundation Director here at CHI St. Alexius Health Williston, and I'm so proud to be involved in supporting the mission of our local hospital, particularly at this time. It's definitely not how I had thought we would be celebrating a year ago, but here we are just the same. It's part of our legacy and heritage to overcome challenges and evolve alongside this community. As a nonprofit hospital, we are grateful for the support we receive. Numerous individuals and businesses over the years have been partners with us in our healing ministry. It's how we have our Leonard P. Nelson Cancer Center and the birthplace. It's how we have a second surgery bed for our expanding orthopedic services. It's the community partnerships which assisted us in the purchase of new state-of-the-art laparoscopic equipment and a patient transport monitor. Today you have the chance to support us at this critical time. If you haven't pre-registered to bid, please do so by clicking on Register to Bid now. We have so many great baskets, items, and trips to bid on. All proceeds from our online auction will go toward our patient equipment fund. I hope that you enjoy hearing about our Mercy heritage and celebrating the countless people involved, front lines and behind the scenes heroes. I hope you are just as moved by the legacy of our mission as I am. I wish we could feature more of the people that make this hospital so great. I hope that you bid as generously as you can for our online auction. You never know when it'll be you, your family member, your neighbor, or coworker that will benefit from your donation. Together we can secure our next 100 years. Together we heal.
Hi, my name is Martha, and I was a cancer patient at the Leonard P. Nelson Cancer Center. Having cancer is something difficult to go through on a normal basis, but having the staff to support you at the cancer center made everything so much easier and better. They're very supportive. They were compassionate to my needs, so very knowledgeable, and they helped me every step of the way. Dr. Lee, Dr. Grant, they provided the support that I needed, any questions that I had. It was just so nice to have the right people, the caring people there to help me through this ordeal. It was also nice and convenient that I have my oncologist in another state, and the cancer center worked alongside of them to set up my plan and to carry it out here close to home.
Hi, my name's Annette, and I gave birth to my daughter Maggie back in April of this year at the birthing center at CHI St. Alexius. She is my second. My son was born at the labor and delivery wing of the hospital a few years ago, and I really appreciated having the birthing center available this time. The staff was very supportive and made me feel comfortable during my stay, and I appreciate everything about the resources that we have here in Willis.
Hi, my name is James Burvig, and I'm here to talk about my dad, Al, who was in the ER at Mercy Hospital back in 1996. He had a heart attack, and because of the facilities there and the staff there, they're able to stabilize him and get him ready to go. Went down to Bismarck, had a stent placed, and I'm very grateful for that because in 1996 I had not had any children, and all three of my kids never would have got to know their grandpa had it not been for Mercy Medical Center.
The Sisters of Mercy traced their roots to Catherine McCauley, an Irish Catholic laywoman. Moved by the plight of poor women and children, she believed she could make a difference. Investing her inheritance in a large house in Dublin, Ireland, she opened a shelter for poor women and girls in September of 1827. Later guided by the Archbishop, Catherine and two companions became the first Sisters of Mercy and established a religious congregation to do their work. In all, Catherine established 14 foundations in Ireland and England before her death. A few years later, Sister Mary Frances Xavier Ward and 6 other Sisters of Mercy responded to an invitation in 1843 by Bishop O'Connor to come to America. Their faithful and responsive service in Philadelphia built a reputation that prompted requests for sisters all across America. By 1854, more sisters from Ireland crossed the ocean to serve in New York, Chicago, Little Rock, and San Francisco. From there, the Sisters of Mercy spread across the country, establishing schools and hospitals. By 1878, Mercy Sisters from Omaha traveled to Yankton, Dakota Territory, and from there to Belcourt. By 1895, they were staffing a new hospital in Devil's Lake. Meanwhile, approximately 250 miles west, a bustling railroad town was experiencing some growing pains. In 1905, Dr. E.J. Hagan Sr. opened a practice in Williston. Prior to his arrival, healthcare was primitive and scarce. Other physicians arrived by 1908, and most opened small homes to recover their patients. The 1918 flu pandemic quickly proved the inadequacy of that approach. Dr. Hagan, Father Patrick O'Neill, pastor of St. Joseph's Church, and Mr. W.S. Davidson Sr., a local businessman, were dreaming and praying about a real hospital for Williston. By 1920, they had persuaded local citizens of this need and reached out to the Sisters of Mercy. Hearing the need, the Mercies readily agreed and promptly responded. On September 12, 1920, 4 Sisters of Mercy arrived by train to start their new adventure. By that time, the people of Williston had raised $30,000 and partially purchased the Ladue Court apartment building, recently completed 3 years earlier. The sisters assumed the remainder of the debt and remodeled the building to make it practical as a hospital. That was 100 years ago this month. Were those first days exciting? Definitely. Our photos depict a nice facility and dedicated sisters with an occasional smile, but they don't show the daily struggles. The first days and weeks in October after the hospital opened were not only exciting, but probably overwhelming and terrifying at the same time. So knowing the broad strokes of our history, we can guess how some of those days unfolded. Doctors calling, people waiting at the door for an open bed, dishes and laundry piling up, full beds, empty cupboards, sisters too tired to even go to their rooms in the evening, or worse, giving up their rooms for a patient. Several loads of laundry waiting downstairs, rooms needing a thorough cleaning, being awakened in the middle of the night to care for a new patient, and perhaps before falling asleep at night, wondering how to pay the loan. Those days ran into weeks, and weeks into months, and months into years. And not only were the sisters doing this impossible work, they were expanding it. Such energy and vision. They were improving, they were planning a nursing school, they were recruiting and training volunteers. They were scheduling women from the church to help with cooking and laundry. They were looking forward to planting flowers in the spring. We try but can't completely imagine what it was like to open a hospital that was still so incomplete and too under-provisioned for 1920s Williston. But they persevered, and by 1923 there was a nursing school, and by 1929 Mercy Hospital needed more beds. The sisters in the community raised enough money to add a 4th floor. That addition provided 30 more beds. In 1951, Williston became the hub of the state's first oil boom and began to grow quickly. Responding, Mercy Hospital dedicated a new 4-story addition in 1953 that provided an additional 36 beds, a new OB suite, and a new chapel. There were many changes and challenges in the ensuing 20 years, but it soon became clear that Williston needed a newer, larger, and more modern hospital. On April 20, 1974, a new 100-bed hospital opened on the western edge of the city. Remodeling and new construction in the following years yielded more patient care areas and service lines. Mercy Hospital became Mercy Medical Center in 1983. Responding to community need, a whole host of additional medical services opened in the 1980s, including renal dialysis, mental health, and Mercy Recovery Center. Cancer treatment followed in the 90s, and new facilities were built for surgery, obstetrical, and rehab services in 2012 to 2014. Today, our community footprint is larger, but our focus is still on providing the best care we can to the residents of Northwest North Dakota. The times change, and so do the challenges. Stress comes with both. The sisters knew by experience, however, that stress was the norm, not the exception. They knew, too, that to accomplish all that God had called them to do, they would need to grow, to be creative, to think outside the box, to rely on and encourage each other, to involve the community, and especially pray and depend on God for wisdom and provision. 100 years later, in 2020, that is still a great strategy.
Happy 100 to Mercy Hospital, now CHI St. Alexis Williston. I am Marilyn McGinley, gift shop coordinator and forever hospital auxiliary member. My late husband, John, had a philosophy that if you live in a community, you have an obligation to be a part of it and participate. Thus, when we moved to Williston in 1971, we both became involved in the healthcare community. The auxiliary has sponsored multitude of fundraisers for the hospital, and we do this to earn funds for hospital equipment. In 1979, in conjunction with the foundation, we started cardiac capers. They had expressed an interest in having a cardiac monitor. This cardiac capers became a very, very popular event with local talent and a director from New York. You will soon see clips from the cardiac capers. I would encourage any man or woman to become involved and be a volunteer at our hospital. There are many, many things that we can do, and I think you would find that time extremely rewarding.
Our first day of broadcast. As you tune in through the weeks, the months,